Dear Rudy. Well, hello there. How are you? My name's Funky Monkey. I'm going to send you this email story. This is a long shot email. I want some advice and an opinion. Well, you're going to get it in front of the whole world, my friend. I'm going to leave your name and personal information, your girlfriend, and we're going to leave it out of the video. I spent years randomly collecting individual people's unhinged and unglued lands. I don't know why, I just love the art, and maybe one day I'll give it to my daughter. That's kind of cool. I like that whole kind of thing. That's neat. Every day, week, month, instead of buying a $5 coffee in the morning, I'll randomly find a listing for these for these lands, and I'll just pick 1 or 2 or 10 of them up. Now I've amassed a huge collection of these unhinged lands. Oh boy, I see you VIP Double Masters. I see where this is going. Not that I'm worried about my money going to waste because I simply love the cards, but it's definitely in the back of my mind now. Should I keep buying these cards and picking them up? Is it worth it? Maybe they go way up in price weirdly. Then, the reprint of Unhinged Lands caught me off guard. I watched all my original Unhinged Lands tank in value. He claims from like $10 a card to like $5 to $6. For the originals. Any thoughts, Rudy? I guess this is an important lesson for investing. Still love my cards. I'll probably hold out, but who knows? Maybe someday I'll send you the collection for the taco cheap. I appreciate it. So you wouldn't want to sell something like that to me. I don't pay very good for non-reserve list cards. Okay. Actually, a very good story from Mr. Funky Monkey here. This goes back to a couple things we've been discussing about lately, ladies and gentlemen. The reserve list serves a very important thing. Just because I just said that, I expect literally before this video is even live for 10 minutes, it's probably already going to get obliterated with thumbs down because that's just the culture that we live in 2021. This goes back to the importance of consumer confidence and credibility in the collectible world. Obviously, Wizards learned this the hard way in the early 90s and 94, 95 range when they did their Chronicles reprint and the market went haywire and stores and people who were buying and dealing in secondary markets started freaking out, mostly because of the Legends reprints, the Elder Dragon Legends from Legends to Chronicles, the gold border monsters, giant dudes, remember those things? Arcade's Sabbath and Nicobolas and I can't remember all those. Anyways, the point was, Wizards knew that the invention of the reserve list, to this day, they clearly regret it and obviously didn't expect it to evolve the way it did, but the reserve list itself served as a very important moment in history for a benchmark kind of thing to be established. And that was, they did something that the market was so upset with. Stores and people dealing in the secondary market went, whoa. These Magic cards are all being traded everywhere by mail order catalogs and on these new websites on this what is internet thing. All of a sudden, this reprinting of the cards really shook things up, and stores lost a lot of money when prices tanked, and everybody started to back away on how much inventory and the way Magic was being distributed in '95. It was kind of a really big deal. And whether you agree with reserve lists or not, it's important to understand why it happened. Now, this is a great example of something that is a very unpopular opinion, but it's okay. Someone has to be the evil bad guy investor, and I need to wear my top hat. And this is a great example of what happens in modern times when the money machine goes burr and Wizards has the printers going red hot 24/7. Because I don't believe that, a basic land or unhinged land should be on the reserve list. But this gentleman's situation is an example of if you're looking to collect or cross over to the investable side, but just collect cards long term, it is very important when you're putting a lot of money and resources that you worked hard for into any category or any asset class, including cards or coins or paper money or currency, whatever you're into. It's important to understand you want to have that confidence in the product. And this gentleman learned the hard way that, simply put, if you're going with any newer modern, especially, I hate the word modern, it's such a tainted word now in 2021. God, it still feels weird to say. Modern era anything is just, that's why stores, the buy list prices are garbage. I mean, seriously, go look at ABUs or Star Cities or Card Game. Go look at modern prices of buy list. Oh, already modern's dead and there's no tournaments and Okay, well, you can justify however you like, but those are what the numbers say. Whatever the reason for those numbers, you can argue about, but those are what the numbers say. Now, and it just shows those numbers are a reflection of a lack of confidence. If you want to point to, well, when GPs and FNMs come back, the prices of modern will come back. Well, I respectfully disagree, because a lot of these people running these bigger companies, they know that. If they believed the resurgence of GPs in the next 12, 24 months and all these things happening was going to cause a reinflation of modern cards, they would be really raising buy lists for modern cards so that they can build their inventory up to prepare for a tremendous windfall financially on a swing in market prices. But this gentleman learned that essentially, as we've discussed on this channel, if it's not sealed product or old reserve list type cards, it's not safe long term for holding financial value. And we maintain that. Now remember, it doesn't mean you shouldn't buy modern cards or shouldn't buy unhinged lands because it's still a game. And if you're building decks and having fun and enjoying it, buy the cards you need. There's no reason not. I'm talking about if you're strictly doing like what this gentleman did and he just loves the cards and he was accumulating them. I can tell he loves them, which is the reason he did it. But number two, in the back of his mind, he genuinely believed they would hold, retain, and slowly appreciate in value over the long term. And in theory, I agree with him. I kind of thought that would probably happen. And I agree with the gentleman again. I had no idea they were going to go back out of nowhere and just reprint unhinged lands in a Masters product. Not only that, but then you can get the foil unhinged lands. You can get both in the VIP Double Masters. And you're guaranteed to get both of them in every VIP Double Masters pack. So this reinforces what I've discussed for a very long time. One of my most controversial, most hated, most death threats and anger I ever received was, I believe it was 2017. I made a video a very long time ago, and I told the public that I believe that the reserve list should be tweaked. And by tweaked, I meant modified and even expanded very slowly and very cautiously to maintain long-term consumer credibility and confidence for young players and new players joining the game, so that their collections of newer single cards will also experience a similar rate as the old ones did, so they can experience a similar path that a lot of the old farts like me have been down and been through. As you can imagine, the attacks and anger towards that was extremely large, and of course, even the professor at Tolarian, how he believes the reserve list is a lie, and he's not a fan of it. And again, still love the guy. I respectfully disagree, and that's okay. But I genuinely believe that there needs to maintain some sort of consumer confidence. And that's kind of what I'm going back on in this video, because, this gentleman's story, he believed he was confident in a particular old version of a card in a specialty unset. Well, he had illusions of grandeur because what he believed was really not safe, or it really was a very bad choice, because not only did it get reprinted, but based on Wizards' actions with their secret layers and picking anything that's not reserve list as a target, I genuinely believe it's going to get reprinted again. I think unglued, unhinged, unstable, on anything from modern times, that's anything that goes even all the way back to Portal, they're going to get reprinted. We got Time Spiral reshifted. They're going to redo old cards with old card frames. We got the list. There's going to be Magic sets. I wouldn't be surprised if Time Spiral, the set booster boxes, have a list of like old versions of different things. There's going to be things like that. And it goes back to the same thing I talked to you all about mystery boxes and convention edition and playtest cards. They will get reprinted. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or 20 years from now. But if it's not reserve list, it's not safe. They're going to do a secret lair variant, a VI. There's going to be flashier, stronger cash grab products moving forward. And now again, this guy loves the card, he loves the product, and that's okay. But I could tell by the message he genuinely expected a different path financially for the cards. So while he still loves the cards, his perspective will be permanently changed. And unfortunately, I do believe that moving forward, that is going to be one of Wizards' biggest problems. And that problem is going to be, how are they going to handle the lack of confidence because of the reprints, the volume of products? How are they going to navigate that? And hopefully there's some good, interesting comments below, besides people just bashing that I think the reserve list should hold and be expanded. But that's all I have.